Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening, replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault episode. Your trust versus your trust. And this is one of those episodes. It could be a little controversial. Could be very enlightening. But our focus is to make sure our people are aware of the truth. So many people come to the vault and they say, "Oh, trust Christian. I know that I'm not a slave, and I know that, mentally I'm not in commerce and things of this nature." Well, we're aware of that too, and so trustees come to the vault all the time. "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be in the system. I don't want to be in the system." Well, that's why we're doing this episode today. Because you're not telling the trust, you're not telling the vote anything new. You're not telling Trust Christian anything new. We're at that. We're talking about it. But the point being is, it's so many that still have a flawed view from the perspective of, "Oh, Trust Christian, I'm not in commerce. I have a straw man. I have a government trust that I'm utilizing, or I have a trust that I'm utilizing." Right? Because it's your trust. So we can talk about it then. So this whole situation of your trust versus your trust. First things first, you're not in commerce, ladies and gentlemen. You are a human being. Human beings are not in commerce, they have commercial entities. The system is a commercial system. So, in turn, there's a legal entity system. It's not a human system. There's no chattel contracts in pretty much in circulation at this point in most of the modern, at least America's. At least we're not vouching for anywhere else because there is forms of chattel property, ladies and gentlemen. And so we want to point out that there aren't really too many chattel contracts and aren't chattel contracts in the population. So your trust, you're never in commerce, but the all caps birth certificate name is in commerce. We're aware of that. The system has a system of bankrupt entities operating. Everyone can operate from that position, correct? Correct. The government's doing it. You can do it. Correct. Because it's a all caps your trust system. That's the system that people think they're ducking and dodging or trying to figure out. And in all actuality, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a commercial system. But your trust, the small letters, you're not in commerce. How you govern yourself, you're not in commerce. But the big trust is, that's the difference. Because think about this, how could your little trust live on? Your little trust doesn't live on. The all caps, which is a legal fiction, it's a fiction. Why? Because all the letters are capitalized. It's a fiction. Nothing is all caps. It's upper and lowercase. That's the distinguishment between the living being having upper and lower and the entity being, which is in commerce. That's the difference. Is you being in commerce or the entity not being in commerce. See, this is where people get their mind twisted because they're like, "Oh, trust Christian, I don't want to own nothing, but I want to control everything." But you still talking about your trust. You still owning a trust. You still in commerce. You're not. You're the entity's just not in commerce. You're in commerce. Oh yeah, my trust, my this, my that. So who's in commerce? You or the person that you're managing, that you're supposed to be a trustee for? But is it said like that in the public? Yeah, how many times are you gonna hear people say, "Oh yeah, well, if you're in the public, the trust is this is a good thing right here. You should, you can operate in the public, through your person." No one's gonna say that, but when you hear people ask you certain questions, they say, "What do you have on your person?" These are legal terms, and in turn, your trust. is a legal fiction. So some people may want to get deep into the conversation. Oh, trust Christian, tell me the truth. Tell me, is this one of those things where, the government is this and the government is that? If the government had, first of all, the government created a trust for you. So if now you know there's a trust for you, it's called the Social Security number. It's the trust set up for the government for you. And is that wrong? Not necessarily. How's that wrong? How's that wrong? It's a welfare state. It's a bankrupt state. How's it wrong? So how do you get past that? You get past and say, okay, now I actually can step back into my true my divine power and understand that the system is nothing wrong with the system. There's nothing wrong with the all caps trust system. It's a system and I know how to play in that system. That's what you learn. You learn how to play in that system. It's just that simple. There's no other way around it. You just learn how to play in the system. It's that simple. You learn how to play in the system, and the system is an all caps system. We were talking to a trustee the other day. Oh yeah, you might want to get a UCC dictionary. If the UCC is the law that's governing contracts, why wouldn't you have the law of governing contracts, the law that governs the all caps name, quote unquote, in the public? Why wouldn't you have the definitions? Because you've been given a second grade education, a second rate education from the public school. Talking about, oh yeah, well, we don't need to teach the law. Why wouldn't they need to teach you the law? How do you not know the language that you're reading when you talk about it's the all caps name? Oh, trust Christian, this is the enlightened information and this, that, and the third. No, it just comes down to just understanding the basics. The basics are you're reading a language, you must know the basics of the language. And the language that you're talking about with the all caps name is an actual language. That's why it's in all caps. It's a new language. It's definitely not necessarily considered new, because if you read the legal dictionary, they actually have the legal maxims. The legal system, legalese, is built after legal maxims. You just use legal maxims. That's literally your trust system. Your trust system, all cap, is the legal maxims in the legal dictionary. They just have these aphorisms that they say. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You hear these things, all these little different lines. These are aphorisms. They're legal maxims from the legal dictionary. So your trust. Everybody knows about the big trust, the big all caps trust. It's the government trust. It's the all caps name. It's the government. It's the debtor. Who's the creditor? Okay, I'm the creditor and I'm the all cap. I'm the lowercase name. Okay. So you're the creditor, right? You're the one that's giving credit to the system, right? Okay, so if you're giving credit to the system, do you sign your name correctly? Are you signing as a creditor or are you signing as a debtor? Oh, Trust Christian, I didn't know that there was a distinguishment. Exactly, because it's an education behind it. But once you get the education and you say, okay, I'm not the debtor, I'm the creditor to the system. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm the creditor, Trust Christian," but you're not acting like a creditor because you don't even know the creditor responsibilities, roles, and duties. You got to know that before you step into the position. It's like, did you step into the position of a beneficiary with ease? Yes. Then you can step into the position of a trustee with ease. Oh, is it that hard, Trust Christian? No, you made it that hard. It's not hard. It's you are actually going to be a trustee over your life. That means you're actually going to create a business schedule for your life. This isn't any more ducking and dodging, hemming and hawing. Oh, Trust Christian, I have a hard time managing my life as a success. Well, by default, you're going to be all caps name, failure, and you'll collect Social Security. It's that simple. But if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be generational wealth, I'm going to step into my divine essence, my divine nature, the lowercase all divine nature, the all being, not living in fear. See, you're living in fear when you're in all caps. Y'all don't want to hear that. You're living in fear. Why? Because, oh man, I owe a debt. Because if you wasn't afraid to, people willing to go to school and get in 100K debt, but you're not willing to go and get in 100K debt to own a business though, and actually have cash flow to pay for your lifestyle. See, that's the difference in mentality. It's a mentality. The lowercase knows no end. The uppercase, it has a time frame. It has an expiration date. When you go, the estate will can live on. That's the all caps name. It can live on the estate. But you, the lowercase, you're not gonna live on. So this might be may take a few episodes to grasp. The divine being is not in commerce. Your flesh is not in commerce. Your mind, that's what it is. The way you thinking, your mind is not in commerce. There is a piece of paper that you sign your signature on, and you give credit and validity to an entity. And then, if the entity doesn't do anything, it doesn't have any value. What are we talking about here? People think, oh, because I'm born into the system, into the government welfare de facto bankrupt system, I'm supposed to be worth something. How are you going to get money? How are you going to get money out of a bankrupt system? How are you going to get true value out of a bankrupt system? See, this is where when you come to talk Trust Christian Revolt and the way we were trained in private, that's the benefit of the public. In the public, we're actually allowed to exponentially trade resources because of the fiat. Otherwise, we would just barter the resources. But if we're not going to barter the resources, we're going to use a fiat note, which whether it demurs the asset or not, we still are able to exchange based off of perceptual value of the notes that we're trading. Perceptual value. People come to the vault all the time. Oh, Church Christian, do you accept promissory notes? Do you? Can you accept it in your divine nature, or do you have to accept it in your debtor entity, the debtor entity that you're managing? See how that works? Oh, Church Christian, I want to use these notes. I'm going to try to use a note. I'm going to be a sophisticated trustee, and I'm going to operate with these notes. Yeah, you're going to operate with notes, but you don't know. Okay, so did you go to the securities individuals or the licensed individuals for these things? That's what it comes down to, because it's not about what we think. It's about the person that you're trading with thinks. It's just that simple. That's why it's in all caps, because it's a legal fiction, because it's negotiable. It's all negotiable in the public. Everything's negotiable. The money's negotiable. The hard assets are negotiable. Everything's negotiable in the public. In the private, it's a little less negotiable. Why? What's the value of your flesh? And then they put insurance policies on that. They found a way in the public to create fictions, which they do. They actually create policies off of the what? The living being. But do you know how they make those calculations? Are you aware how those things go? But let's get back to this living flesh being thing, because a lot of people, oh yeah, Trust Christian, I'm the creditor, I'm the living flesh being. There's no way I should be held for a debt. You're not being held for the debt. The debtor entity's being held for the debt. So this is where we talk to trustees like, well, are you comfortable with good debt and bad debt? Because there is good debt and bad debt. Bad business debt is traditionally good debt, and bad debt is considered personal debt. So are you operating properly in the public? But then we get back to the divine being. The divine being, you're supposed to be able to do anything and everything. You're supposed to be limitless. You're supposed to be infinite. So how could you be under anything? How could you be living in fear? How could you have limitations on your goals and your dreams? But they do. They let, oh man, the system, the government, the war, the this, the that. It's not any of that. It's you, the divine being now. We're not talking about the debtor entity. We're not talking about some legal fiction entity that can blow up tomorrow. As far as it going bankrupt. Can you go bankrupt? No, you can't go bankrupt, but the public trust can go bankrupt. How can you go bankrupt? See, this is an association of words in your head because you don't understand the system. The system was set up based off of fear to control people with the uppercase name, not the lowercase name. Because if you knew who you was, then you wouldn't even almost be working for anybody. You'd be focused on operating in your divine nature and creating the life that you want. Instead of living a life that the school system programmed you to do, to say, oh yeah, I gotta work for somebody. I can't set goals for myself. I don't want to plan my future. That's too hard, Trust Christian. I wasn't programmed to plan my future. That's all it is. Were you programmed to plan your future out? Were you programmed to plan out your days every single day? No. Why? Because somebody else did that for you. It was at public school. They gave you a public education. They gave you that, hey, if you come to school, we'll tell you what you need to learn. We'll tell you what's important. We'll tell you what's important in history. We'll tell you how to operate with math. We're going to qualify you and disqualify you based off of these various subject matters. But did you qualify yourself when you got in the real world? But then some of y'all woke up. I woke up, Trust Christian. I'm not the legal fiction. I'm not the all caps name. Okay. So you should be the biggest dreamers in the room. But are we out here seeing that? Ladies and gentlemen, Trust Christian, we're in the private. Y'all don't want to know. We almost see the same faces. This is how you know it's so powerful in the private. Seeing a new face means that somebody just made a bunch of money. That's what that means. Whoever you see in the wealthy environment, it means they just made it the first time. The first time you see it, they just made it. That's all that is. Maybe they've been wealthy and they just find out about the group that you're in. But at the end of the day, if they come around for the first time, you could just assume, okay, they just made it. It is what it is, or they made it, and we're having a conversation now. Otherwise, if you don't see them, you don't see them. What is there to see? Ladies and gentlemen, what is there to see? Are you going to make those jumps? Or are you going to be dependent on the government trust, the all caps trust? Oh man, the government owes me, the system owes me. What? Why would you keep trying to build on the social security number when you already know that that's a minimum number? It's the minimum. So you now know, okay, my all caps is a minimum number type of scenario, not a maximum. So then we move to the lowercase name, supposed to be the creditor. Okay, but Trust Christian, if I'm not in commerce, how am I operate? Because you think about yourself. You think about your body. Why are you thinking about your body? That's chattel. It's two types of titles, right? It's legal title and equitable title. Equitable title is your body. So if you enter into a contract, you want someone to take your body or you want someone to take the contract, which is the all caps trust document. Or excuse me, all caps trust, your name. In place of the equity. Then they can hypothecate, like y'all, like people accuse the bank of all the time. Oh, the bank, if you put money in the bank, they lend out $10 for every dollar that you put in. So you not operating like a bank? No. All right. Have you ever heard of the insurance policies yet? They're the first banks. They're the first banks. But your all cap, or not your, but your trust, all caps is the one that's in that realm, not the lowercase name. It's definitely not. It's the all caps. Now, some people may say, how come this isn't taught to everybody? First of all, this is private information. It's not information that the government is not. First of all, the government's the all caps name. Why would they tell you? Oh yeah. Why would they tell you that? You're the lowercase name. You're the divine being. You're the infinite being. They know you're supposed to know that. That's not a question of do you. See, this is the difference between people thinking they're under the government and they are. When you're operating in your true trustee capacity, then you operate in a capacity that says, I'm operating as a trustee for my life, or for the life, or for the body that I've been given, the body that I'm utilizing. You're operating as a trustee over the body. You're operating as a trustee over the mind. You're operating over as a trustee over the assets in the world. That's how it looks. That's how it is. And it's a practice. It's a practice. You practice your health and you practice your wealth. The wealth is the law. It's the legal law that you're utilizing. Are you utilizing it from a position of, oh, woe is me? Or are you utilizing it from a position of, okay, I know who created this. I know what it originated as. It's actually for my benefit, not as a beneficiary, but for me to utilize as a manager, as a steward, as a trustee, because the system is set up in common law if you're in that jurisdiction, which is a strong trustee base mentality, a fiduciary mentality. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening to replay. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that is Christian at trustchristian.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Peace and joy.